this morning. I'm not on my own, I'm with James. And we've been doing some coaching together. This is the end of our flow journey. Obviously, I'm Anne-Marie. I'm a positivity clinical hypnotherapist and I'm a confidence life coach. And I work with anybody from 5 to 105. And good morning. And here we are at our last session doing a wrap-up session. So as I said, this is James. Now, it's such a fancy title, I'm going to have to read it, so you do have to excuse me. He's a sales director for a large health club organisation, which is Europe-wide. No mean feat. And that's the work side of him, and the human side of him, well, it's all human, isn't it? But he is a family man. He has 2 children and he likes to have fun. That's one of his values, by the way. That's a secret. I shouldn't have really told you that. And so for anybody that's thinking of enhancing their journey, of stepping forward into their greatness and is wondering how it works and why would you do it, I thought I'd bring James on to just give you an insight into his journey and how you too could become the very best version of yourselves. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but there's no other way to put it. How can you be you in abundance? So, James, is there any other way that you'd like to introduce yourself this morning?
Not really. That's me in a nutshell.
That is him in a nutshell. And he looked so vibrant and energetic and full of life this morning. I had to go back upstairs and make myself more beautiful.
Imagine.
Because I felt I was in the shade. I felt like a wallflower, so I thought I'd have to step up my game to be in James's presence. Whose presence do you step up into? And are you showing up in the world exactly as you would like to be every single day? Because that's what you should be doing. You should be really celebrating all that you are. So that's what our life journey is about. It's not a one-time. We were talking earlier about, people talk about life coaching in terms of, I did that once. And then they might remark about how, I did that once 10 years ago. I don't think it really works. I feel stuck. And that's maybe because that was 10 years ago and you didn't revisit your journey, because life is a continuous cycle until the end. And it's not about the destination. As we know, it really is about the journey, the becoming of who you are. And talking about the becoming of who you are, the person that James has become in his journey, I can only say, I got a bit emotional earlier on. He is inspirational in his journey. Every time that he has been and he's had any challenges, he's gone away and he's just done them. I don't know how easy it's, we're going to find out now how easy it's been, but he's just got on with it. And I wonder, are you putting in as much to life and expecting to have everything? Are you putting everything in to get everything out? Because, it's causing, we live in a world of duality, causing reaction, action, reflection, and exactly what you're putting in, exactly what you're going to get out. So James, 9 sessions ago, you came, you had you had an agenda, you knew what you were coming here for, you knew what you wanted to walk away with. What did you, back then, what was it in your mind that you wanted to walk away with?
So I think when I first came in to see Anne-Marie, my main issue in my head that I was dedicating pretty much all my life to my work. So I didn't feel like I was getting much of a balance, which meant that my relationships with my family was suffering. It meant that in particular my sleep was poor. So I felt like I was just working all the time. I was working whilst I was at work. I was working in the night time when I couldn't sleep, and there was a severe lack of balance, and I suppose I was struggling to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So it was something that I'd deliberated on for a while, and then sort of decided I was going to do something about it, and that was my initial reason for coming along.
And I'm sure we've all felt that when we felt that we could be doing more, we could be experiencing more happiness in our lives. It's a very, very brave decision to make for the first time. When you first knocked on the door, You didn't know who was behind the door. It was only little old me.
Yeah.
But you said to me something earlier on about what was the hardest bit of your journey.
Yeah, so the hardest bit of the journey was actually making the decision to do something in the first place. But once I did, actually, it's been great. So I was very happy, and I'm very happy that I did so.
And that is, you know, for anybody that's thinking about doing the inner work into yourself, what would you say to those people? Because a lot of people wouldn't have known about life coaching. Had you had life coaching before?
No.
Never?
No, never.
Wow.
So I think the thing that's shown itself to me is actually working on yourself is the most important thing, and investing time in yourself and your mind will only bear good and happiness going forward. And I think that the big thing for me that I've learned is that actually you're in control of your own happiness, which is not how I've ever felt in the past. I've always felt like what will be, and I just have to run along with it. But actually now I know I'm in control of whether I'm enjoying my life or not.
Yeah. And doesn't that make so much more difference? It's so much more empowering. Every morning that you wake up, you know that you've set this day, and whatever comes from this day, you know, you set your intentions as you wake up, and you find you become a lot more productive, a lot more effective, and you're packing a lot more into your everyday because you're planning for your happiness, you're planning for your success. Just in the same way that in your job, you set targets, you've learned how to transfer that to your life. You started setting targets for your life, and how would you say you've been achieving them up until this point thus far?
Yeah, so good. So I think that we've come up with some targets and some daily routines that have helped with that. I think that, you know, I've got a lot better at planning things, particularly when it comes to family time.
Yeah.
I think in the past, when I have had what I would call family time, actually, whilst I would have been there in body, I probably wasn't necessarily there in mind. But I've now got a plan for the next few weeks of what I'm going to be doing with the children, and actually when I go and do those activities with the children, I'm a father rather than someone who's there who's worrying about work or thinking about work whilst I'm out with my kids. So I think that I've got a hell of a lot better at taking control and setting these targets around my life, which I've always been tended to do around my career.
Yeah. And that's a huge difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
So one of the very first things you said to me is about having the balance between, and you're applying exactly the same principles to your personal life and achieving those same sense of achievement and goals that you were having. So isn't that a lovely balance? You feel like you're really living, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. And I could tell that by the fact that I had to go and say to James, you need to take the sparkles off your eyes before you come on camera this morning. Right, so that's just a very quick overview of what life coaching can do for you. Do you think there needs to be a certain type of person that would choose to do life coaching?
No, I think anybody would benefit from life coaching. I think it doesn't matter whether you're, you know, doing what I'm doing. If you're, you know, you've got other issues in life. I think that ultimately the big point for me is that what this can help you do is be in control of your own happiness, and everybody wants to be happy, right? So I think it doesn't matter who you are.
Brilliant.
You can benefit.
And that's important for you to know because, you know, you're looking at other people and you're thinking, well, they're that kind of person, so therefore they did that. James didn't have any experience of life coaching. And for some of you who are thinking, oh, you know, if you've got a really important high job, then you must do all of those things automatically. James has clearly let you know, no, he was very focused. I mean, he's risen to the top of his profession through promotion, because of the fact that he has been very diligent, he's focused, he's planned, he's got action plans for his work, but that he wasn't doing that in his life. And that if he'd have been doing that in his life at the same time, wow. Yeah? Because one does impact on the other, doesn't it? The happier you are at home, the happier you are at work. And because you were focused only on the work, then this part of it was deteriorating. And now you're bringing it up to balance and you're planning for both sides of you, because both sides of you are really important. I think that's brilliant. James, please share with the viewers one of the goals that you told me about, and it wasn't so much a goal as a fear that you had around the really important job that you have, and because you'd stepped up, you'd been promoted again and again and again. Now you were in an arena where you needed to be more visible. Yeah, and that was one of the concerns that you had, which is, I have to say, what is this statistic that they say about people that they'd rather? There's 3 big things in life they'd rather not do. I wish I could remember that statistic because I've heard it before. That public speaking is the second highest thing that people would not want to do. In everything, you know, and that was a concern for you back then. It was one of the reasons what was stopping you stepping up in your role, expanding in your role, because you knew you had to do that.
Yeah.
And this is a common issue that I see with people who are in really high pressure jobs, that they can do all of the action planning and the theoretical side, but that sometimes the practical side, which is as important, that connecting with people,
Yeah.
it can hold them back. And I've seen that quite a few times. What was one of the goals that you put going forward that you would like to achieve in your future success?
To inspire people through public speaking was something that I put down.
I mean, wow, this is real. This is not us having a conversation, how can we inspire people to be better? This is James, who came through the door, and it was the furthest thing from his mind. And it would have been, you know, if I'd have asked him to do this interview back then, it just wouldn't have happened. So in terms of your journey and how you felt it's made you change, what's different? What's different now that's inspired you to want to write that down?
I think it's throughout the period of time we've been working together, what I had at the start of the journey was a bit of self-doubt. So I'd just been promoted into this role, and actually now I feel quite confident in my own skin in doing the role, and that seems to be getting week over week over week, which is why I'm now writing things down like I have done now.
Yeah, brilliant. One more question. Do you think, you know, the combination of the hypnotherapy and the life coaching is more impactful than, say, I know you haven't done life coaching before, but you can clearly see what the sort of parameters of life coaching are.
Yeah.
Do you think it makes a difference with the hypnotherapy and the life coaching, or just life coaching?
Yeah, I think the combination of the two has been perfect for me. If I reflect back now, I think it's been great to have these discussions on a weekly basis, but also having the hypnotherapy as well, particularly around things like sleep, has been a real impact for me.
Yeah, brilliant. That's us. Oh, hello, Doctor. Hello, Tia. Good morning. That's it. We just wanted to jump on and inspire you to step out as your magnificent self. And if you were thinking about life coaching, it doesn't matter who you were in the past. It's about the journey you're going to make to become the person that you are. It's about who you are, how you show up in the world, and being the best version of you. Thanks a lot. See you soon. James.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.